There is no such thing as cost push inflation or as supply chain disruption inflation, etc. If any of those effects were the cause of inflation, today we would have deflation, because those elements may generate an abrupt change in unit prices once or twice, but they don't make aggregate prices rise, consolidate that increase, and then continue rising again, which is what we are seeing right now. The latest figures of PCE inflation and core inflation show that all those excuses are just that, excuses, because core inflation would not be as persistent as the one that we are seeing today if any of those elements were the drivers of inflation. Unit prices are one thing and aggregate prices are the other. The only thing that can make aggregate prices decline and inflation come down to the levels that central banks have as their target is a lower increase in the money supply growth and a much more persistent level of rates at elevated levels, i.e. less money supply in the system. That's the only way in which inflation will be controlled. If not, what we are going to see is what we're seeing right now, is persistent and therefore destructive inflation. That means that there will not be an improvement in real wages, in productivity, or in growth. Ultimately, central banks don't print money or maintain low rates because they're stupid or because they want to, but because they need to finance bloated government spending. So, bloated government spending is the ultimate cause of persistent inflation, which is the reason why we are not seeing the level of disinflation that we expected last year. Government spending continues to be elevated, deficit spending is insane, and that ultimately leads to a destruction of the purchasing power of the currency. Inflation is always monetary mismanagement. A unit price may change because of an external factor, but it does not make aggregate prices rise in unison and consolidate that rise further. The only thing that makes all prices continue to rise the way that they are after a massive and abrupt increase in the previous years is monetary mismanagement.